Alright, everybody, it's time for another horror franchise Wednesday. Let's talk about House 2. I got the double feature thing here. Now, House 2 is written and directed by Ethan Wiley, who did the first one. He wrote the first one with Fred Dekker, supposedly, and he is the one who added all the comedy in the first one. And since he's in full control here, this one is a full-blown comedy from beginning to end, basically. And yeah, this is either for you or not for you. Is it for me? Stick around and find out. So, this movie is PG-13, unlike Part 1, which was rated R, and I said in my other review that that one did not even feel like it was rated R. It seemed like it could have been PG-13. This one is PG-13, and it feels like it could have been PG. So, none of these really feel R so far. Maybe Part 3 will, Part 4, I haven't seen those in a while. This was my second viewing for House 2, The Second Story. Clever subtitle. And this has Lar Park Lincoln from The New Blood, and also a cameo from King Hodder, so that's kind of funny that they would do The New Blood together like a year later. And this does not have anybody else from Part 1, although there is a actor in here from Cheers, just like George Wendt in Part 1 was in Cheers, so I thought that was kind of a weird coincidence. This also has the guy from Fright Night, the guy who's like the servant or something of Jerry in Fright Night. And yeah, those are all the familiar faces I saw. And, well, I mean, there's another guy, but we'll get to him later. So this movie is completely detached from the first one. There is no continuity in this franchise at all. Just same concept, different house, going through portals, people from different dimensions coming over, the barbarian, shit like that. This is just a wacky, comedy first. There's nothing really horror about it because there's no blood, there's no deaths, there's nothing serious, there's nothing dark. It's a very just straightforward comedy from beginning to end. Which would bring me to my negatives. Let's go over those real quick. So, the humor does not work for me at all. I tried, I really did. I wanted it to land, but it just does not. I didn't laugh once in this movie. I was looking at the TV with the most blank face ever because I didn't smile once, nothing. Like, nothing in this movie was funny at all. And because this movie's not funny, it's painful to get through. I was just checking my watch, hoping that the movie was almost coming to a close, or hoping that it would actually start to get funny at some point. It just was dreadful. It's either going to work for you or it won't. I've actually heard from people who have nostalgia for this film, maybe that's what you need to like it, who think that this is hilarious. It's their favorite horror comedy, although I seriously don't think this is a horror movie at all. And I get that. If it could work for you or it could not. But for me, it did not work, not even 1%. Like I said, I did not laugh once during this movie. It was just very lowbrow shit. It's just very childish humor. It's very lazy to me. It's just people getting their head hit, things bumping into them and them looking at adorable creatures, and then feeding them at a dinner table. It's just stuff that just I didn't think was funny at all. Was I supposed to laugh at the pterodactyl and the cat or dog, whatever they call it? Those things were cute, not funny. But yeah, just the biggest problem with this movie for me was just the humor. It was not landing in the slightest. And the story overall is just written very lazily, so lazy that they throw in this Bill the electrician character who's not only an electrician, but someone who's just an adventurer too. He's got this business card. I was just like, what? He's an adventurer and an electrician, and when he sees a portal, he's not baffled by it. He's like, oh, look, here's your problem, boys. You got a portal to a different dimension, it looks like here. And then he just willingly goes inside and starts helping them out. It's just so silly. But for some reason, I just wasn't laughing. I'm laughing now, but not when I was watching the movie. It's just, this movie was written 2 weeks, I read, and it very much feels like it. And the story makes no sense. There's a skull thing that looks like something out of Indiana Jones and Crystal Skull, and they never really fully explore what the fuck the power is that thing gives you. Is it immortality? That doesn't make sense, because the guy who wants it is like a walking corpse, so that doesn't make sense. Why would he need this if he's living just fine without it? I don't understand what this skull thing is for. I even went to Wikipedia and I was looking at the plot synopsis when people go on there on their own. They type everything out from beginning to end. Here's what happened. No one could spell out what the hell this thing was about. What was the skull? Why was it so important? it's like a key to different portals, but yet there's moments where you don't really need it to go into different portals. And what was it for? And why did he want it in the first place? Why did he go dig up Gramps in the first place? He's like, oh man, there's a picture of a skull. I really need to go dig it up. I don't know. The story was not working for me. It felt very lazily written, very rushed, and the humor was just not working. So those two things weighed this movie down a shitload for me. Can't recommend it, but let's talk about the good things that I took from this movie. I like the new house, I like the way it looks. I like that they're continuing the continuity of the concept where there's portals and shit. I like the way this house looks even more than part one. It's like made out of these stones, and they say in the movie that it's like Aztec stones. Like that's what gives the house its power, is the walls and stuff. I think, right? And, but yeah, I like the way the house looks in this one also, and I like that they even, they still do the portal thing, and they actually use it more in this one. In part one, I think, Cat, he goes through the portal like once towards the end, and in this one, you got all kinds of people coming out of the portals, and then them going in through like a different portals. They go and attack like Aztec warriors. They go to the dinosaur times. They go to the old west. So I like that they explore this concept a little bit more with the whole like different dimensions and stuff. And I like seeing Harry Manfredini come back to do the score once again, and it's not like he's copying and pasting shit from the first movie into this one. He updated the score, and there's even like Friday the 13th Part 6 little cues in here, which is pretty cool. And I like that Kane Hodder has a cameo. So, yeah, those are my positives. That's really all I took from it. Outside of that, final thoughts. Did not enjoy this one at all. Just I've seen it twice. I've given it 2 shots. I tried. I really wanted to like it. I was hoping I would go into this and be like, holy shit, I like it more than one. Nope, didn't happen. The humor just was not landing for me. Can't recommend it. It's probably for children. Maybe children would appreciate this a lot more. So show your kids. Maybe they'll like it. But for adults, this humor just, it wasn't landing. So when it comes to House 2, the second story, can't recommend this one at all, because to me it was just wasted time. Alright, time for a spoiler discussion. I'm going to ask a lot of questions because I don't understand this story. So we open up with this couple getting rid of their infant baby. They're just giving it away, and it's like the 1950s or some shit in the opening. And why? Why are they getting rid of their child? To protect it? They can protect themselves too by leaving with the baby. They don't need to stay at the house and get killed. Why are they going back inside to fight Slim Reezer? Why can't they just leave? Is Slim Reezer, whatever his name is, going to follow them wherever they go? Isn't he just trapped there in that house? Because the house is the problem. That's where the portals are at. I don't think anything that comes out of those portals can go out and about, but maybe I'm wrong. Why get rid of the baby? Why do they have a giant stuffed horse in their, in their house? Who does that? Just a full size horse just taxidermied in their house. And yeah, I don't know why they're getting rid of their child, and why they're just going back inside to shoot Slim Reezer, who's already a fucking zombie. He's not gonna die when you shoot him. And yeah, I mean, this is the wrong tone setter, just like part one, where the opening seems dark. This is the darkest the movie ever is in the movie, just seeing these parents get gunned down. And then the rest is pretty damn silly. So, dark open, silly ass movie from here on out. And his girlfriend is Lar Park Lincoln, and she is beautiful in this. She's way prettier than she was in The New Blood, because they did something with her hair in that movie. They made her look all frazzled and just weird. In this one, she looks pretty damn attractive. And so, his friend just comes crashing into this thing in front of his house, driving drunk. It's the 80s. Everybody drove drunk back then. So he's digging through some shit in the basement. He learns about this Kingdom of the Crystal Skull thing, and he's like, maybe it's buried at the cemetery down the street. And when they get to the cemetery with his Fright Night best friend, it's a set. It's an obvious set. It looks pretty cheap. That's another problem with this movie. I didn't say it earlier, but there's a lot of sets in this movie where it just seems and looks pretty fucking cheap. And so yeah, and Grandpa was buried alive for 70 years. So was he alive? He was alive, right? The whole time? Or was he dead? And then them getting him out of the ground woke him up or something, or brought him back to life. He had the skull with him, and the skull is what keeps him alive, right? Because then when he gets home and he has the skull, and he sees that he's like rotted some, he's like pissed off and like, oh man, I thought this skull would keep me looking fresh. Like it's gonna have me be immortal or something. Is that the power that the skull has? What does the skull do? Does it keep you alive? Obviously, because the grandpa's alive and he's been buried for 70 years. Why? Why? Why does he need to be buried if he's not dead? Why would you choose to live that life? Like, I just want this skull so much that if it means just sleeping in a coffin for 70 years to keep it, I'll do it. It's like, just go fucking put it in a goddamn safe and go live your life. Like, I don't understand. I have so many questions. So, after that, yeah, I like how his skin's completely rotted, but he still has hair. I mean, your hair would go. He would be bald. But yeah, whatever. So, not using logic. So, Charlie, he's got this girl that's like obsessed with him, and for some reason, he just won't fuck her like he should. Like when your bitchy girlfriend, like they make Lar Park Lincoln a total bitch. And when she's leaving, he's like all upset, like, no, don't go. Like, screw her. You got a chick over here who's drunk and totally willing to do whatever you want her to do. So go be with her. Screw that other bitch. Go let her have sex with Bill Maher. And I don't know why Bill Maher's in this movie, but he's playing himself, an unfunny prick. And so they used the same shot twice in this movie of the sports car driving like down the driveway. I thought that was pretty funny. They used the same shot twice, but on the second time they have like more zoomed in to make you think it's a different shot, but it's like I know better. But I like that this guy just tells this 170-year-old corpse to go drive his fancy like spider sports car. Like, yeah, drive it. I'm too drunk, but here you drive. 170-year-old guy who's been buried probably since before cars were invented. I don't know when cars were invented, so I don't know. Maybe there was cars around, but it's like, really, you're gonna give the keys to this corpse? And then there's a Halloween party, so I guess this is a Halloween movie. You could watch this during Halloween, I guess. But there's just one scene where there's like a costume party, so it explains why nobody's panicking when they see Gramps looking the way he looks. They think it's makeup. So yeah, I guess that was kind of clever, but that's been done before. And this barbarian just comes out and steals the skull. Why does he want the skull? Why does anybody in these portals want the skull? How does he know about it? He's just a barbarian from a different time. He doesn't even fucking speak a language. He's a caveman, basically. But he just comes out, gets the skull, sees King Hodder, punches him over a ledge. And so that was pretty cool, seeing King Hodder in here. And this guy was towering over him. I wonder how tall that barbarian was. And so then after that shit, Bill Maher, he's such a douchebag. Not only in real life, but in this movie, he gives the guy like they call it like a dead fish handshake. Like he's like not even like trying to shake the guy's hand. He's just a prick. Who are you, Bozo the Clown? No, Bozo the Death Machine. That's one line I remember. And I love that this guy from Fright Night, he has a Uzi in his trunk. I mean, that's totally legal to have a fully automatic Uzi just in your trunk. And so then they enter the dinosaur times. And the movie from here on out is just a fucking cat and mouse chase with this damn skull. It's like, oh, we gotta get the skull. Yay, we got the skull. Oh shit, the skull's gone. We gotta get the skull again. That's the plot. And so they climb the tree, or one of them does somehow, even though there's like no branches on this tree, he's like somehow climbing it. It's like, it would have made more sense if he had like some strap around it. He was like going up like Mulan or something, but he was somehow climbing this tree. I didn't really see it. And I like the cheesy like 80s effects where there's like the paintings and stuff and miniatures, stop motion, stuff like that, instead of CGI. I like that stuff. And so yeah, the pterodactyl bird has the skull thing, and then we get the puppy, whatever the fuck they call it. That just looks adorable. It's not scary at all. I don't think it was trying to be, but yeah. And then they just have the caterpillar thing, and Gramps as a pet. Gramps has it as a pet. He's feeding it, and then there's a dinner scene, and it's trying to be funny, and I don't know. It's just not working for me. And the pterodactyl has fur. Do pterodactyls have fur? This thing looked pretty furry. It looked like a bird or chicken or some shit. I don't know. It didn't look like a pterodactyl to me. But anyways, so I did like, for some reason they have like this like door, this trap door, something like that, Scooby-Doo, where you push up against the wall and it like rotates in the pantry for some reason. Why would that be there? But it's just an inconvenience in this moment for this guy. And he opens up the door, and the chick, he's trying to like prove to the people, Bill Mahr and his bitchy girlfriend, like, look, there's a, oh shit, it's my girlfriend. Oh, and she's like, what? It's like, what did you think was in there? He's like, oh, I don't know, a baby pterodactyl, or maybe even a caterpillar dog hybrid. Like, I don't know. That was just another silly line. And then, so after all that stuff, I don't know why he wouldn't be with Rochelle. Come on, man, be Rochelle. She obviously wants you. And then Bill the electrician shows up, and he's an adventurer, and he's completely tearing at his wall like an asshole. And this is the guy from Cheers I read. And so they go in the portal. They're attacking these Aztec gods or soldiers or whatever who stole the skull. Again, how do they know about it? They're just drawn to it somehow, supernaturally, or why do they need it? They're just trying to sacrifice this virgin, but to do so, they need to steal the skull for some dumb fucking reason. And then they're just rope swinging down there. They're tackling them all and throwing them around. And then there's a guy who sneaks up on the main character here to attack him, but he's clearly like waiting for his cue to like get punched in the face and fall down. It was such poor choreography. Like, and when they're like getting hit, like you can see that they're not actually getting hit. They're clearly missing. They're just waiting for their turn to get knocked out and shit. That stuff just takes me out of it. So then Slim Reezer finally makes his appearance. He just somehow comes out of the table. So I guess that's a portal now, the table in the kitchen. And I forget how he kills I think he shoots Gramps and that kills him. So I guess he's not immortal anymore. Just getting shot kills him now. Okay. And then, so how does Grandpa know that Slim Reezer killed his parents? He was already buried at that point, right? He was buried in the cemetery for 70 years, and during that 70 years, this main character, his parents got killed, but he knew that somehow? How did he know that? I don't understand how he got that knowledge, but whatever. I guess he just assumed, maybe. And then the cops just show up. I don't know who called the cops. Did they show up because Slim Reezer was firing his gun? But like he just started firing, and the cops already pull up. They're just there in an instant. And one of the cops is the cop from part 1, so that's the one character coming back, playing the cop. He was the police officer in Friday the 13th. That guy. And so, yeah, Slim Reezer, he has the skull now. Somehow he got it at some point. And instead of just killing this main guy like he wanted to, he was shooting at him for a while. He finally has him like pinned down. He can get him. And instead of just killing him, he puts his gun away, digs in his chest, takes out the skull, I guess to brag, like, ha ha ha, look, I got it. Like, why did he do that? So then, yeah, he shoots Slim Reezer a bunch. You think he's dead, but he comes back, just like in part 1 with Big Ben. He comes back one more time, and yeah, Gramps bleeds out. Jesse, he saves his friends and shoots Slim Reezer. I think that's how he kills him again. How did he kill him the second time? I forget. It's been a day or two since I've seen it. Yeah, I think he just shoots Slim Reezer, and that's how he fucking dies. He gets the skull, and then instead of choosing to live in his world, he wants to go to the Old West to bury Gramps and live there forever in the Old West with his Fright Night friend and this Aztec chick that he saved, this virgin girl who can't speak a word of English. So he just wants to live the rest of his life with a chick who can't speak English and his Fright Night friend in this world that he does not belong in. Who the fuck would want to leave the 20th century at the time and to go live in the Old West? Nobody. It was a lot harder to live life back then, so why the fuck would you willingly go back to live in those times? Like, that's ridiculous. And that's the end of the movie. So, Hockey Mask Award for Best Character in this movie will be Bill the Electrician, because he's just fucking odd. I love that he just did not bat an eye at a portal and just went right in to fight Aztec soldiers. And then the Hanky Award for Worst Character in this movie will be Bill Mahr, because fuck him. And the Clapper Award for Best Scene in this movie will be the Saving the Virgin scene. Even though the set looked cheap and the choreography was poor, it had Bill the Electrician doing his thing, and it was just the most entertainment I got from the movie. And those are my thoughts on House 2. What did you think about this movie? Do you like it? It's okay if you do, but just giving you my honest opinion. It did not work for me, but did it work for you? Let me know. What's your favorite line? Is it your favorite in the franchise? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.